welcome to Conversations with Dr. T. Welcome to the YouTube page. Those of you who have been following me on Podbean, you know that our bandwidth got too big, so I announced last week that we will be moving over to YouTube. I'm not exactly thrilled about it, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not really a vlogger, y'all know I just like to do my podcast, but we'll see how this goes. Now, today I'm actually recording from my iPad Pro because the battery on my Canon is dead. I'm gonna show it to y'all. I brought this Canon camera. It's an SLR. It actually came with two different lenses, and it's what I'm gonna be using. But I brought it because my photographer wasn't available to do prom pictures when my daughter went to prom last year. And so I wanted some really, really high quality pictures, so I just went out and brought a camera just for that purpose. But I guess now I'll be using it for this, so it's a good thing I got it. I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, "You're the only person I know who'll spend $800 in a camera that you're only going to use to take prom pictures for your daughter." But nothing but the best for mines. So, um, enough of that. So some days I'll be doing it from my iPad Pro. Some days I'll be doing it from that camera. Some days I'll be doing it from my MacBook. Some days I'll be doing it from um, my iPhone XS Max because it has really good video capabilities. And sometimes I'll just be doing it from my regular iMac. So y'all know I'm a Mac whore. I have everything Apple. Apple products are the best. So today's talk is gonna be about the side chick myth, which I touched on a little bit last week. First, we need to define what a side chick is. So, a side chick is the other woman that a man is seeing when he's married to someone else. Notice I use the word married. If a man is not married, there is no side chick because if you're not married, you're single. So there's no such thing as a side chick unless you're married. That's what I need you ladies to understand. And I know the term side chick helps boost some of you up. It's a term that people use to make themselves feel superior to others. But at the end of the day, if a man is not married and he's seeing you both, he basically just has two girlfriends. There's no such thing as a main or a side. Now, the woman that you usually call the side chick is the one that he doesn't live with. He usually doesn't have kids with her, but sometimes he does. But at the end of the day, he goes home to what you all allege to be the main chick. Now, here's how this goes. A man knows within 6 months to a year whether he wants to spend the rest of his life with a woman. And generally, once a man decides that, because men are territorial, they do something to make sure that no one else comes in and invades what they consider to be theirs. Now, some of you think that means he moves in with you, but no, that's not what he does. When a man decides that he wants to be with you and he wants to make you unavailable to every other man in the world, what he does is he puts a ring on it. If he has not put a ring on your finger, then he has not yet decided that you are the one and he is still searching. So yeah, he may have another woman over there, but it's because he's trying to decide which one of y'all he wants. And it doesn't make either one of you better or less than the other one. And that's what I need you ladies to understand. Y'all start attacking each other. No, I'm the main. No, you the side chick. Both of y'all is just his girlfriends. And actually, the one that you call the main is the one who really she catches it. I mean, if you really got to think about it, the one that is called the main, she's really the dumb one, if you ask me, because with the side chick, he goes over to her, he has fun with her, they do things together, and when all the fun is over, he goes home to the main chick who's responsible for cooking his food, washing his clothes, cleaning up behind him, arguing with him all the time. When he's with the side chick, he's having a good time. That's where he goes to let loose. And understand that when he's with her, he's not telling her that things are hunky dory with you and him. Because if he did, most women wouldn't be bothered. He's not going to her saying, hey, I got a beautiful relationship at home with my main woman, but I just want to kick it with you a little while. I mean, there's some men who do it, and there's some women scandalous enough to get involved in something like that, but for the most part, that is not what's going on. And instead of attacking him who has a commitment to you, who's supposed to be loyal to you, instead to make yourself feel bigger, because let's be honest, infidelity does bring about some insecurity. So to make yourself feel like you're better than her, or that your relationship is more powerful than the one she has with him, you begin to belittle her and berate her by calling her a side chick, because that's a demeaning term. But in actuality, she's the one that he's probably confiding in. She's the one who probably knows all his deepest, darkest secrets. And to be honest with you, she's probably the one who knows all your deepest, darkest secrets, because he's going to tell her during that pillow talk. So don't get it twisted. She doesn't owe you anything. She probably doesn't even know that you and him are the way you perceive y'all to be, because he's presenting to her a totally different picture. So you have to be really, really careful. As women, we have to stop belittling each other and start empowering each other. You know, hold him accountable, because he's the one who's coming home to you every night lying to you, not her. He's the one telling you that you're the only one, and then you find out that she exists. And a lot of times we go after her because going after him brings to the forefront those insecurities that we really don't want to deal with. It's like, I don't know, how many of you on here are Christian, but I know you've all heard of the woman at the well, and how they said that she came to the well in the heat of the day because she didn't want to deal with the other women. Well, that's actually not true. If you read into it a little more, you will find that the woman at the well, she didn't come to the well when the other women came, not because she didn't want to deal with the other women, but because she didn't want to deal with herself. Because going to the well where they were, she had to see women who were happy. And we as women, we kind of take on that persona. We don't want to deal with ourselves. So instead of dealing with ourselves, we deal with other people. We have to start dealing with ourselves and what's going on with us. We have to start looking at our relationships and determining whether we're really in this relationship because it's good for us, or whether we're in this relationship because we're complacent and it's all that we know. I was married for 17 years, and for probably 15 of those years, I was there because I was complacent. All I knew how to do was be a wife. And then one day I woke up and decided, hey, wait a minute. There's more out there for me. I'm not limited to just this. I have great potential and I'm a good person. I mean, I know I look pretty rough this morning because I'm just coming from my morning walk, but, I could really do better than this. And, you have to start evaluating. If I'm with this person and we've been together 5 or 6 years, and we haven't made any progress, we still broke, we ain't got nothing, it don't look like we getting ready to get nothing, then you have to start evaluating, is that the person for you? Because when it really is a good match, you'll begin to grow together. And growing doesn't mean having a bunch of children that you can't feed. Growing means, you buying a house together. Again, he has a ring on it. You don't buy no house with a man that ain't your husband. Ladies, don't do that. But y'all start getting things together and acquiring things, and he's investing in you. And the first investment a man is going to make in you is to make you his wife. If he hasn't made you his wife, then he's not sold on you just yet. I don't care how long y'all been together. You could have been together for 20 years, but if he hasn't put a ring on it and walked you down that aisle or took you down to the courthouse to sign them papers, baby, listen, it means that he's not sure and he's still searching, but he's there with you because he's complacent and he's comfortable. And the reason why he's there with you and not with who you call the side chick is because she probably is not going to tolerate him living up in her house, walking around in his drawers around her kids, and he ain't got a ring on her finger. So a lot of times, just because a man lives with you doesn't mean that you're his first choice. It means that you're his smart choice, because he knows that he can stay with you and not commit. You know, I would never encourage any woman to live with a man for more than 4 or 5 years. If you live with him for 4 or 5 years and he's not ready to make that thing solid, you really just wasting your time. And I did some research on this. So the average person lives to be 78 and a half years old. However, we spend like 25 of those years sleep. That's if we sleep just 6 hours a day. We spend like 25 of those years sleep. So really, technically, we only get 50 something waking hours. 52, 53 years is really not a long time when you look at it across a lifespan. So to waste some of those with somebody who really is not trying to have something solid with you, I hate to say it, but that's really just stupid. you know, I don't know any other way to say it. It's really just stupid. But what I do want to see is I want to see us stop, beating each other down and badgering each other and start holding these men accountable for what they do to us and the lies that they tell us. Because believe me, he's not telling her that things are sweet over there at your house. He's telling her how rotten things are. Trust me, she knows about every argument y'all have. She knows about all the issues within your family, but you getting upset with her. Get upset with him because he's the one who you're in a relationship with. And stop using the term side chick when you're not talking about your husband. And the ones that I find use this the most are the baby mamas. And this is not to knock baby mamas, because it's really some good ones out there. But at the end of the day, a lot of times when you're his baby mama, he feels like you already trapped him because you gave him a family. Most times when you're a baby mama, it was an unplanned pregnancy. Very few instances do you find a baby mama who was out there and meant to get pregnant. It's usually an accident, and it's usually catches him by surprise, and some of them do try to do the right thing out of obligation. And again, that's the honorable thing to do. But understand that just because you have a baby from him does not mean you own him. And just because the law sometimes says that if you've been together for a while, that you're common law married, don't think that, he takes that with a grain of salt. At the end of the day, you shouldn't even want to be common law married to anybody because common law marriage means that I've stayed with him so long that the state says that his stupid behind needs to be stuck with me since he done wasted all my time. That's really what that means. So don't be proud of a common law marriage because, again, he didn't commit to you. We have to learn to set standards for ourselves and in relationships, what we want, what we plan to achieve out of relationships. And I tell women all the time in my line of work, if you are the same place this year as you were last year with that person, that is not the person for you. I don't care how much you think you love them. I don't care how much time y'all spent together. If y'all are not growing together, then what's the purpose of being together just to have somebody? As women, we have to be so secure within ourselves that we don't need a man, in order to make it and to thrive. That's not to say that we shouldn't seek companionship, but you shouldn't be with him because you need him to survive. I'll give you an example. Like as I said, I was married for 17 years, but during the course of my marriage, I educated myself. I went all the way through to the PhD level. I currently have my PhD. I own my own company. We do behavioral health. We do targeted case management. We do consumer directed services, and we're across 3 states. I operate in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. And let me tell you, baby, I don't get no child support or anything like that. But every month, when it's time to pay my bills, I know where the money coming from. I'm not stuck with anybody because I need them for financial stability or I'm not going to be able to make it without them. And understand that men cannot stand needy women. They want somebody they can build with. And he can't build with you if you broke. And I'm not knocking those of you that work at the Burger King and the motels. I'm not knocking you because a job is a job. But what are you doing to get yourself out of that situation so that you can make more money? Because you can't possibly have the goal of making minimum wage all your life. We've all been at the bottom and we try to get ourselves to the top. I know I've had some broke days in my life, but I was doing something to make, it was what I considered to be a means to an end. I mean, I ain't never scrubbed no toilets. I don't think my stomach can handle it. But I've had to do some means to an end. I taught school for 12 years, and that's a hard job. And teaching, it's rewarding intrinsically, but financially, it is not rewarding. And, as a teacher, I had some really, really broke days. So just learn to empower each other and teach each other, and that's the goal of my podcast. Y'all know, well, now it's a vlog, but that's the goal, is to help you all be more empowered within yourselves. This week, as we approach Christmas, we're going to be talking about some financial literacy. I got some really, really good information from Edward Jones, which is, the investment company that I use. Their CD rates are really, really good right now. If you invest $1,000 in 3 months, it'll be $1,250. So I'm looking into some of those things, but I'm not going to get into that because this is about the side chick myth. But we will be talking about that later on in the week. Please, please, as you do your last minute Christmas shopping, do not overspend. Do not spend more, than you have. Looking for that tax return check, because trying to outdo the side chick, you're going to be trying to spend that income tax check on stuff that you really don't need. So don't get into extra debt. And I really shouldn't be the one talking. I really shouldn't even show y'all this, but I'm going to show y'all under my Christmas tree. And I haven't really done a whole lot of shopping yet, but I've done enough. So far, this is for my two children. I don't know if you can see it because I got it forward facing, but these are the gifts for my two children. I do have a little bit more to get for them. They want Apple Watches because they want to be like their mom. They're Apple whores too, to be honest with you. My daughter, she loves her MacBook Air. My son, he loves his MacBook Pro. He does a lot of DJing on it. My daughter does like a lot of pictures and stuff. For those of you who can't afford it, if you're going to be buying computers this Christmas, I will suggest that you invest in the MacBooks. I've had my iMac for 16 years. It is on its last leg. It's time for me to replace it. But I mean, how often can you buy a computer and it lasts 16 years? So I've really, really, really got my money's worth. I'm in my 5th year with my MacBook Pro. So I'm not looking to update that for at least another 3 or 4 years. And it's iPad Pro, which I'm doing my recording on today. I've had it probably 7 or 8 months, and I love the Apple Pencil that came with it. So for Christmas, I have 2 more hot items to get for the kids. They both want Apple Watches and, probably a couple of pairs of shoes and maybe a few more outfits. And I'll probably shell out a couple of dollars to them. But for the most part, I really don't have a lot left to do. Don't plan to overextend myself. So, just some advice to you as you finish up your last minute stuff. Don't overextend yourself. And again, thanks for watching.